So, a very warm welcome to Lucy. Hi,
Thanks,
Lucy.
Hi, Em.
Hi, hi, hi. So good for you to join me and give a very honest testimonial for people that have never ever done any session work programs of the Hara Line method with me, and you have.
Yeah.
So, um, what inspired you to take this journey with me?
Well, you very kindly, firstly, had offered me a complimentary session with using your method, which I was slightly skeptical about, I have to be honest, okay? But then a friend of mine who I know works with you and certainly had more than one session using your program and your method has actually she kept you very, very highly recommended, and she only had really good things to say. And without going into detail, just really how much it had helped her. So I was very keen to give it a go.
Fabulous, fabulous. I know, and I know how skeptical you were.
Very.
So how did you feel before? Obviously, the skepticism was there, but how did you
Yeah.
feel before the session that we did?
When you mean feel before, in terms of actually right before the session, or just generally that week?
Just, just, just your thoughts about how
Right.
much you gathered about it, really.
Okay. I mean, I had a very open mind, and I think that was very obvious from our, before we started. So I came into it totally open-minded.
Fab.
And
Amazing.
calm, and I wanted, I wanted to sort of feel something really positive from this. The
Amazing.
skepticism had been put to bed.
So let's go into what happened and what shifted during the session.
Okay, so the session itself, I have to be honest, I felt very, very comfortable with you. You're a real professional, and you and I know each other, okay, outside of work stuff. So, it was a real professional, and I felt it was very unintrusive. But the actual session itself, the only way I can put it was like a guided meditation. That's how it felt, and it was very safe. It was very comfortable, and I felt like I sort of went on a little journey with you during that, which was extremely positive for me. There was no negativity that came into that. It was a very positive session where I actually felt very empowered. I almost had a vision of going up the top of a hill and standing with a bow and arrow. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was really, it was very, it was affirming and powerful for me
Yeah,
specifically.
cool, amazing. So let's just talk about afterwards, because this is a really key point in my work with the what I call the human experience, the
Yeah,
integration. What happened
yeah,
next? What
yeah.
happened next?
Are we talking about what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I mean, look, and this is why I have to really say that during that session with you, there was nothing that in any way that came up that was emotional or anything like this. Right. That night, I had the most unbelievably vivid, powerful dream where you are unable to tell, sort of if you're really in a dream or if it's really reality. Like you can't work out, did this actually happen, did it not? And what had happened, I mean, I did text you very early in the morning, obviously, as you know, because I was so shocked. I thought, did she know? Did she know this was going to happen? Did she do this? Anyway, what happened was I had a very, very powerful dream. And it basically, it's to do with the fact that, we all have trauma. We all, as we all go through life, there's trauma that we all deal with, etc. I thought that really I had dealt with something,
Yeah.
and it came back in a dream. I confronted something, and I also had to confront some emotions and process certain things
Yeah.
afterwards as a result of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown
You
away,
have
to be
you have to.
honest. Yeah.
Okay. And this is the important part that I want to stress here, that sometimes at the time, those emotions that we're tapping into and activating within the journey itself takes the integration to the next level. At our point, it was early hours of like very early in the morning that I was seeing this.
It
Are
was
you up?
7:04
Are you
a.m.
up?
Yeah.
Are you up, Emma, yet? So these are massive parts of the work that we do together.
Yeah.
And from that experience, without going into details on that, where have you left that process? Where are you in that now, in the feeling of that
Yeah.
process that happens?
I mean, this is obviously quite recent because we only did
Yeah,
this last
of
week. I
course,
mean, obviously you and I've talked to you about it, and you've
of
obviously,
course.
you've helped guide me through some of that, right? I felt, because I wanted to ensure this wasn't some sort of a coincidence, you know. Um, in terms of that, I'm still processing things, if
Yeah,
I'm completely honest with you. And I think what it does, and I think because, and I think this is an important thing to say, the dream was one thing, right?
yeah,
It was the massive emotion that came up as part of that. And I think that's the bit that's almost been dissolved and dissipated. And I've had to confront that because it's time to put that to bed. You know, that's finished and it was there. It needs to come to the surface and be processed. So in terms of answering your question, where am I? I think I'm still thinking about it. I wouldn't mind talking to you, but I did say to you earlier, I'd like to quickly talk to you about something again because it's quite recent and there's just a couple of other things I want to talk to
yeah.
you about just so that we can totally process it.
Absolutely. And just so that people know that my method takes you through a process of integration. So
Yeah,
you're not just left with this non-real state of emotional
yeah.
distribution in the morning and left. We actually work through that process as a very pivotal part of the work that we do in the sessions.
And I think
So
just to finish it, what I'm sorry to interrupt, Emma, what I'd just like to say is that in no way was I sort of prepared for that. So I think sometimes if you prepare a client to say this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And now in view of the fact that I was slightly skeptic, there was nothing that said, you know, I didn't. That's why this is so real for me because, you know, I was the biggest skeptic on the earth and something needed to be, and this is why I'm just going on about it to everybody. It's because it's not like Lucy, this is going to happen. You're going to feel X, Y, no, I just thought I had a lovely comfy meditation session and that came up later, but then the support that you gave me afterwards, I was really invaluable. It's almost like you were expecting, if I'm honest, it's almost like you were expecting me to, but without having told me that, you know, without putting that into my head. So yeah,
yeah,
thanks Em.
yeah, no, that's all part of your process in your way.
Yeah,
And we work then together to confront these things you put to bed or suppress, or wherever we put them in our minds, in our bodies, in our emotional state. But they are squeezed down so much that actually your comfy session was in fact releasing so much for you for good,
yeah.
really, for
And do you
good.
remember I shut doors in my session, didn't I? Do you remember I did the shutting
Shut a lot of
doors?
doors, Lucy.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is instrumental of the empowerment that you felt within that
yeah,
session
yeah.
to be able to do that
Mm.
as well, right? Okay, so in one sentence, can you put this into one sentence? I know it's quite difficult to pin you down on a one sentence for the experience
Just one sentence in terms of the
that you
experience.
can tell other people, that you can share with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think your method and and the methodology that you use, I know it has, is it called a horror line method? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it absolutely helps to process any negativity, any trauma, anything that you are holding on to that cannot be good for you. Get it out and release it. It does it in such a gentle way
yeah. Thank you.
and it's wholesome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Em.
Okay, feeling the love, feeling the love. So on that note, thank you so much.
Thanks, Em. I really
We will
appreciate
continue.
that.
We will
Thank you for your
continue our
help. Yeah.
on absolutely and continue our journey onwards, upwards, right up to the top, like you envisaged in your visions during that session.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing your experience, which
You're
is
very
important.
welcome, Em. Thank you.